Ladies and gentlemen, I have a question. I don't know that anybody has an answer. I might have the answer. I have most of the answers. But that still doesn't eliminate my desire to ask the question, why are gays and lesbians and Democrats so anti-religion? Why are they so intolerant of religious people? I mean, isn't that kind of what's going on here in Indiana? Now, some might say, no, Russia, it's chicken and egg. I mean, who started this? I don't know who started. All I know is that back in 1993, Bill Clinton signed a Religious Protection Act, Freedom from Discrimination, whatever it is, RFFA. I don't even know the title of it. We all know what I'm talking about. And it was designed to let Indians go ahead and smoke peyote, and they were exempt from a statute because of their religious beliefs. And the Democrats were out there celebrating that. The Democrats authored that. The Democrats wrote that. And then something like 30 other states followed up and created their own Freedom from Religious Discrimination Act, whatever the heck of the name of the thing is. And sometime between 1993 and today, it seems like the gays and lesbians, militant gays and lesbians, the Democrats and liberals are just anti-religion, well, anti-Christian. I don't know what would happen if let's say, a gay couple walked into a Muslim bakery and the Muslim bakery refused to bake the cake. I don't know what would happen. If a gay couple walked into a Muslim photography studio and said, hey, we want you to shoot pictures at our wedding, I don't know what would happen. But we do know what would happen if they walked into a Christian bakery or bakery owned by Christians or photography studio owned by Christians. In fact, if you had 10 bakeries in a neighborhood and only one of them was operated by devout Christians, why would you choose that one to go to? I mean, we all know the answer to these questions. I'm just asking them. What, do you think I'm over the line here asking the question? I'm not over the line at all. Greetings, by the way, folks. Great to have you, El Rushball and the Excellence in Broadcasting Network. Here we are back at it, 3 hours, revved and ready, just as I promised. The Restoration of Religious Freedom Act, or some such thing as that. Yeah. The official program observer is raising his hand for question. What's the question? Yeah. What is it? Right. What if was the question, if someone doesn't want to cook, like if you go into a restaurant, you mean, and we don't want to cook for you, would you still sit there and eat what they're going to serve you? Or would you leave and go someplace else where you're more wanted or desired? Well, I guess that, no, it's not a stupid question. It's a very illustrative, for those of you in Rio Linda, illustrative for you that are correct, question that illustrates the point here. It's like mine. If you've got in your neighborhood there are 10 bakeries, you're a gay couple, you're going to get married, there's 10 bakeries, and there's only one run by devout Christians. Why go there? It's obvious, isn't it? They're trying to pick the fight. They're trying to pick. Now, what I don't understand is, you go back, as I say, 1993, Bill Clinton talking about God and religious freedom. And who cares that it was about Indians and peyote? It was so effective. It was so good. It reaffirmed the whole notion of the First Amendment protections for freedom to practice religion that a bunch of other states glommed onto it and created their own versions of it. And the state versions mirror the federal version. And back then, the Democrats were openly, well, at least more so than today, they were more than willing to praise God, talk about God, invoke God, appear to be doing the work of God. But sometime between then and now, something's dramatically changed. And it appears that the people who were applauding Clinton back in the day are now anti-religion, anti-Christian religion. And I just wonder why the intolerance? When did it start? Now, Mike Pence, the governor of Indiana, boy, oh boy, did they just start dumping on Pence, and they dumped on Indiana. I mean, it was all over the place, predictably. NCAA. Man, we wish we could take our tournament out of there. All kinds of businesses began to think they were going to fold up and leave. And then other governors in other states started making pitches for businesses in Indiana to relocate. And conventions that were going to take place in Indiana not to go there, to cancel and come to their other states. Rahm Emanuel is one. Emanuel made a pitch. Illinois has the identical law. Illinois has an identical law to what everybody's underwear's in a wad over in Indiana. Now, look, these questions answer themselves. I understand. I'm just asking them. We all know what's going on here. This is a version of the Republican war on women. This is a campaign issue. Mike Pence, governor of Indiana, went out today, soundbites coming up, to try to put out the fire, and it's not possible to put out the fire. There is nothing Mike Pence could have said today to stop this. Because this isn't about anything other than the 2016 election and things that are ancillaries of it. It's a political issue and does not have a solution because the people that are stirring things up do not want there to be a solution. That's not, and so there's nothing that Mike Pence could have said to mollify because they're not going to be mollified. Mike Pence could do everything in the world that the activists are asking, and even after he did that, the activists and the Democrats would still continue the issue by pointing out, look what they did in the first place, and that's who they really are, no matter they cave totally to us. That's who they really are. That's who the Republicans really are. So there's nothing that Pence could have done. Now, I've had some emails from people today who are suggesting to me that Mike Pence caved in his appearance. Did you see it, Snerdley? Did you watch any of it? Yeah, I saw some of it. We'll get the sound bites coming up. But I've got email, and you people that send me emails, you know who you are, suggesting to me that Mike Pence caved and is now going to fix, quote unquote, this law in Indiana. Not due to facts, but because of the seriousness of the charge. People have learned well listening to the program, and they've pointed out that this is another one of these examples where the facts on the ground don't matter a hill of beans, and you can get blue in the face telling people about the facts. I made this point yesterday. Over here, you got the facts, you got history, you got context, all that doesn't matter. Over here, you've got a political issue, the emotions, and what the opposition sees as another chance to do indelible, constant, never-ending harm to the Republican Party, and so that is what is going to be prevalent. And even if Pence were to do whatever it's demanded that he do to totally fix this, they would still say the seriousness of the charge and the original intent. Don't care that Pence fixed it. Look at who he really is. Don't care that Indiana fixed it. Look what they tried to get away with. That's what we're up against in this country. And I've got some sound bites coming up which will demonstrate to you that which I told you yesterday, that this is an attack on the presumption of majorities being oppressors, just by virtue of the fact that they are majorities.